What is up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here with part 2 of the Lords of the Fallen playthrough. I'm pretty excited about this game, as I told you in the last stream or the last part. It's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of systems working together to kind of make a fun experience and one that you should definitely try and appreciate. They put a lot of work in it, and obviously it's not without its flaws, but it is quite a bit of fun once you start understanding what they're trying to achieve with all these systems kind of intertwining. It's a fun game, a little complicated in terms of mechanics, but it's solid. So we have made it to Skyrest Bridge. This is the hub world. I showed you kind of where all the NPCs were in the previous stream. We're going to be heading this way, though. I'm talking to an interesting fellow. He's actually just right down here. His name is Andreas, and he's apparently, allegedly, I should say, an ancestor, or his ancestry comes from, Antinous, which we know was, a jerk in the previous game.
That's it, isn't it? Oh, the lamp of immortality. And the genuine article. Not a useless, empty vessel like the one I saw that witless fool bumbling around with. I've learned a little since coming to Mornstead about that lamp and the awful mission to which it's attached. I hope you recognize that frightful burden for what it is. In truth, what's been done to you is downright cruel. Of course, some people are born into roles of tremendous responsibility. My name is Andreas of Ebb, esteemed scion of nobility, but far more than that, descendant of the great ruler Antanas himself, as proven by my family's book of lineage, for one. That's right. Through my veins flows the blood of the legendary hero who defied Adir and the Rogar and saved the whole world, only to be betrayed and murdered by a common criminal. So you'll understand a man of my pedigree cannot simply stand idle, while an unfortunate victim such as yourself remains shackled to such a grim fate. Give me the lamp, and let me shoulder your burden, friend. What say you? No? It saddens me to see you bring such agony down upon your own head. I hope you see sense and reconsider.
So interestingly enough, not only does he tell history in a slightly different way than I remember it, but Antinous, or Antanas, as he said, Antanas, was the leader of the humans. But he got a little bit power hungry, and Harkon had to dispatch of him. So that was the canonical ending, no matter what you did. So that event, his death by the hands of Harkon, who was a common criminal, was actually supposed to happen no matter what. Now, based on what happened after the death of Antanas, that then resulted in whether the world was saved. The Rogar won, there's balance, or if Adir was defeated or prevented from resurrecting. So, a little different from what I remember.
My offer stands as long as necessary. After all, what man of breeding would turn away from one so clearly in need?
Yeah, I don't trust him. And this is another excellent view of this, this little, the hand of Adir. So cool. I really like that. Anyways, we're going to meet another NPC down here. And soon after, my knowledge of where to go and stuff is going to start falling off, because I've only ever played I don't know, maybe 2 hours of the game. But this is things I've seen before, so. Old Mornstead Spear. We'll climb up this ladder here. Depending on how much progress we make, I would like to kind of show you guys the rest of Skyrest Bridge, so we'll see if we can accomplish that today.
Careful, if you're headed for Pilgrim's Perch, friend. The hallowed sentinels don't welcome everyone. Not even a faithful pilgrim who's crossed countless miles of land and sea to join them. All I wanted was to serve the divine judge cleric, but they deemed me unworthy and chased me off. What's a poor, rejected disciple to do now, I ask you? I gave away most of what little I owned before I left Perdam, but if you've got some traveling of your own to do, then here, take this. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's been a dependable companion to me.
So he gives you a stick.
It's It's a harsh wind that blows in Mornstead, but a tree that doesn't bend breaks, I suppose.
And that is a weapon, interestingly enough. Now, I'm assuming he's something of like an, I don't know, like he's not human because of his shape, or he's just deformed. I'm not entirely sure what to make of it, but there do seem to be inhuman races of creatures that they look pretty human to me. But there's like Grok or Grocker, I forget what they're called. There's that dude, which looks pretty interesting to me. And that's it so far, but that I have seen. But anyways. Here we want to make sure we tread softly. There's tons of enemies, like I've mentioned before multiple times. If there's ever, boxes or crates in the way, anything like that, they're very likely going to be blocking someone that's going to push you off the ledge. So you wouldn't want to run towards that necessarily. You'd want to do this instead. So that'll help. Make sure there's no one behind you. See this guy's coming up. Now, of course, he's stopped. The coward. We're going to want to pump some points into our stamina. We'll also be getting a ring shortly, I think, if I recall correctly, that allows us to increase our stamina, so pretty nice. Get the map of Pilgrim's Perch Ascent. Now, we can go ahead and take a look at it while we're safe in Axiom. We won't be able to do this very often. So the Perch's Ascent, it shows you, okay, you go through the big tower, there's bell dudes there. If you look, there's like a floating platform that's hanging from like a scaffolding type area. You go around, and then there's going to be a bunch of like, these are like those wooden crosses that we've seen before, and then there's an area with bells. Now, these you won't even see till much, much later on when we go to the Pilgrim's Perch area. That area, in my opinion, is where most people that aren't going to have thick enough skin, they're going to quit this game, because this is where some of the issues are very apparent when it comes to ranged enemies having incredible accuracy from across the map, even before they're in aggro range and things like that. They can shoot you off platforms and all that. So it's certainly going to be an area where a lot of people say, yeah, I quit. And I understand. I mean, it sucks, but it's certainly something that I'm like, darn it, like, if you could stick with it, you're going to enjoy it. It's a great game. It's just, every Souls-like has its flaws, So there is an interesting area here. I have not been able to successfully get to here yet. So as you can tell, there's like a whole section here. And way out there, you can actually pull an item. It's a golden item, so probably something pretty neat. But I wouldn't suggest pulling it yet, because there's no way to get up there, and you can't run and jump. I've tried many times, so this is obviously the height of my head, so there's no way you can jump that high. This dude jumps like literally a foot, well, not even, like 6 inches off the ground, so that would be the area you could return to Axiom from if you needed to. Alright, so anyways, let's go kill stuff. I'm bored. Alright, we're going to go over here first, show you guys some secrets. We got the bloody hatchet weapon. And while we're at it, we can take a look at it before we start getting attacked by everybody. Oops. Bloody hatchet's a throwable, pretty cool, something that we can definitely equip along with our throwing hand. Matter of fact, we can do that now. There you go. And we're going to use them here soon. Alright, so we have this area as well. Be careful, because of course, these guys love to push you off. Okay, so watch your back, because enemies are going to start trying to swarm you. I like to go for the ranged fighter pretty quickly. Dodge away. Now we can engage in jolly cooperation with these fellows. There it is. That's the stuff right there. Okay. Then I love just killing these defenseless enemies. It really makes me feel good after fighting enemies that can actually fight back. Oh, you. Whoa. He didn't like what I was saying. Anyways, we'll kill this dude. These guys are really easy, so no need to dance around, but I was just trying to get a parry in. This is a You're going to see like a soul flay opportunity here. So you can do that. We can't do it when you're not in the Umbral realm though, unfortunately. And then we have a save point, so we can activate this vestige here. This is going to be important for later. We'll upgrade our weapon. I remember mentioning the Pilgrim's Perch key. We're not going to do that for quite some time, because in my other playthrough, when I was just kind of starting off the game, I realized, oh my, that's an area that is much better reserved for later gameplay. I went through it, struggled through it, and it was probably the worst thing I could possibly have done, but that's just the stubborn nature of, you know, who I am. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and pop into Umbral really quickly, and then we can pop back out. I'll show you guys some other secrets here at the end of the stream, but we're going to do this first.
Oh, hello, sentinels. Most blessed representatives of the Holy Judge Cleric. My soul soars to see...
Hold your tongue, pilgrim. And on your feet. You are on sacred ground. And we are yet to see whether you are deserving of that honor.
I assure you, I have dedicated my life to the teachings of Judge Cleric. My faith in her and her divine works is boundless.
Pray it is, for our immaculate lady's light will lay bare the truth, and in radiance there is judgment.
So again, seems like there's some corruption for sure. We're going to go ahead and rest. When we rest, we'll pop back into Axiom. And then I'm going to show you guys what I would say is something that you might want to save for a little bit later, but I think if you're able to, if you've got the metal, go ahead and do what I'm going to do here, because I think it's nice to open up the rest of Umbral. I'm sorry, the rest of Skyrest Bridge. We want to open up the rest of the hub world. It's going to be really cool. Alright. Here's where some fun begins. There's enemies up top, kind of out of reach, out of range as well, so we do need to use our throwables. But let's go ahead and take these guys out first. I want to show you guys something really cool. I might have to actually kill that enemy, but just in case I don't want to ruin this. So if you ever see a red lantern, you can do a soul flay on it. Course, and it'll show you, pretty much lead you to the enemy that killed an unsuspecting bro. And if you take him out, you'll be able to get some special currency actually. We're fine, we're gonna jump into Umbral. Get the plucked eyeball, and those are currency you can use to purchase things from a certain shrine, so pretty neat stuff. I'm gonna run around here, come up this ladder. One thing I don't like is that it's L3 and then you press X to jump, which also how to interact with different items, so you can sometimes be in a really bad position if you're not careful. If you hold R1 while you're throwing stuff, it actually throws it harder. So it does a lot more damage. See how I was doing 116 and then I did 174 that time. That's a neat little trick. Definitely something I suggest you try out. But anyways, we don't have tons of time because we are in Umbral, so let's get moving. You know what I'm going to do? Instead, we're going to reset at the save point right here, because I don't want to die. I have no desire to die, not just yet. And we have to find a way up here. There you go. So here's a secret that I certainly didn't find last time, so we're going to do this. I just saw the path right here, and I missed. Oh, that's great. Gravity. If you've ever watched any of my runs, you will know that Souls-likes, the primary cause of my death, it's always gravity. And you know this. You've You guys, oh, any of my regular viewers have seen some of the crazy things I've done. Alright. Can we proceed? Bloody hell. Alright, here goes. Whoa! Okay. Now that we're in Umbral, we can run across this way. I remember for the life of me when I first played, I didn't really understand all the mechanics and stuff yet, so I was like, where the heck do we go? And what's going on? And we got the rejects blade. Oh gosh. We got sniped from a mile away as well. Somebody we can't even see. Look at that. Someone from literally across the screen. You gotta love that. Look at that. But that's part of it, guys. Learn to love it. I'm afraid any of these moth ladies might just wake up. There's one. Come here, beautiful. Okay. Lovely. I'm gonna have to just be aggressive and go for her. Oh, okay, well, that worked. Now, can you guys, like, die? Oh gosh, why are you so angry with me? Okay. Now my fear here is that I'm gonna get sniped by that same mage that was shooting us from a mile away. Why am I throwing this? I need my umbral lamp out, please. There you go. Get a little bit more juice. Here's what we're gonna do, buddy. You get out of there. That's a great way to get rid of enemies that just annoy you. Watch this. Weep. Oh, okay. Please don't fall off. Okay, thank you. Now, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, all I'm trying to do is grab this bad boy right here. And now at least we found it on stream too, which is awesome. Got the pale eye shield, very cool. Now we can drop down here, be safe, be merry. We can jump back into Axiom. Turn back into moths. And what we're going to do is we're going to run down and we will tag the save point. We can take a look at some of the stuff we got too. I'm really excited about the haul. It was a good haul. And then I'll show you guys the scaffolding area and how to get to and unlock the rest of Skyrest Bridge. It's just weird to say. Skyrest Bridge. We can get up to 20 strength and we're going to start pumping up our vitality. Alright, so here goes. Let's take a look at some of the things we got. After we rest. I always forget that just by activating the menus, it doesn't mean you're completely rested or that you've actually sat at the save point. I was just making sure no one was. I heard footsteps, so I was making sure no one was coming my way. Alright, so what all did we get? Pale Eye Shield. Ancient Shield of Unknown Origin. Human ancestor or a different being entirely. Interesting. Okay, so this requires Radiance and Inferno. It's a medium shield. That's neat. Definitely don't have that in my other playthrough. And then we have, oops. Going back to equipment here. Inventory, there you go. That was awesome. We ended up picking up a different, yeah, was it the Avowed Mace? It was something. That could be it. That looks new to me. We got some pilgrim clothing. Love it. And the Paladin's pendant. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, I'm happy with what we've collected so far. Alright, so we're going to go down here. We're going to run past these enemies again. We're going to be using this strategy quite a bit after we clear out an area. I don't really believe in this at all. This is against my beliefs as a Souls-like player, but it happens. This game has far too many enemies. So do that. Key there. Okay, sweet. Doesn't open from this side. Love to see that. I actually forgot about that door in my first one. So we're going to go here, drop down, knock this guy out. Try and stay in Axiom if we can, because this little area you can certainly die in if you're not careful. Clear out all these boxes and we'll see the little guy that was supposed to ambush us. Just be careful when you're with these guys. Your attacks a lot of times move you forward, so be very careful whenever you are attacking. We'll pick this item up, because if you accidentally go crazy on your combo, you can't really cancel unless you roll. So if you roll out of it, you can die pretty easily, so just be very careful. You gotta sprint and then jump. You can go through these like ropes here, so don't worry about it too much. And I'd wait until the corner is coming back, that way you have a very minimal distance to actually cross and cover, so there you go. Here, if you look at your, pull out your lamp, you can see there's an enemy or a little parasite you can take out. That was linking this guy here, making him invulnerable. So we'll take him out. And it doesn't always make them invulnerable, sometimes it just makes them stronger, you know? They're more resistant to damage, things like that. What is that? What? So these guys I like to just kick off, it's just fun. That's just kind of the guy I am. And jump off. Do the same thing here, just be careful. Jump off, aim for the corner, and die. Now we're in Umbral. We get one more chance, so. And the jumps are so darn finicky, I'll tell you. We go for the lowest point. There it is. Good gosh. Grab this item before you forget. Small beryllium fragments. Remember, there's pretty much enemies in like every corner, so just be careful. Check your corners before you just rush through. Now at least we have full health. We still have our 4 heals as well, so we can use those. That was the guy who's going to ambush us, and trust me, there's many more. We've got quite the path ahead of us still. A little bit more narrow, you know, ledges and things like that, of course. Sometimes the switching your lock-on can be a little problematic, so just be patient with it. Don't mash like crazy, otherwise you will find that you're moving on to different enemies. And it automatically does move from a defeated enemy, so just don't forget about that, because otherwise you're going to be locking onto the wrong guy or overcompensating. Uh-oh. Were you not corporeal yet? Alright, this one's a little tricky. Dodge away. There you go. Watch the corner there. We've got more enemies in the corner right here. Locking onto an enemy right in front of you is like damn near impossible, by the way. I've been trying to do it, as you can tell. Like janky camera. We got this bro. Take out the ranged fighter as soon as you can. It's always a priority. So you can shoot behind his back, apparently. Alright, so we've been in Umbral for a period of time. We're still safe. We just need to watch the eyeball. Remember that the eye we have socketed is fantastic. That's a lever for the elevator right here. We don't actually need to pull it already down, but the eye that we have socketed decreases the rate of dread. Dread is, of course, the bar that kind of shows, okay, you've been in Umbral too long, so the longer you're in Umbral, the more difficult time you're going to have. Let's take the lift up to this floor here, and we're pretty much going to be circling around the Skyrest Bridge area. So here we're going to actually have an opportunity to return to Axiom, and we're certainly going to do that so we can reset the Umbral clock, so to speak. So let's go and do that. As long as you're not surrounded by enemies, you are able to return and use that item, so it's always good. Ice Grip, that's a new tinct. Go ahead and pick that up. Then we're going to come down here. Now this area is really cool. I came here and I was like, there's got to be something I'm missing. Because I looked and I saw that item over there and I was like, okay, what do we need to do? And the funny thing is I completely missed it because I made the mistake of popping into Umbral too early. So don't ever like fully commit to Umbral. This right here is just another door you can open once we get the Skyrest Bridge key, and that will open up the remaining area of the hub world. This right here, the other side, actually has one of those skeletons. If you can see the head over there, we're going to try to use that. It's going to be very difficult to actually survive this particular encounter, but we're going to do our best. Here, we also going to have an opportunity to do the, I guess technically a soul flay. So let's try not to forget that. And if you look over here, that bridge is accessible if you use your lamp and cross. But it's going to be guarded by two very powerful enemies, and that item is going to give us the Skyrest Bridge key, which we can use to open the door that we just passed. So one thing at a time. We have this right here, so we'll go ahead and pop into Umbral, and then we're going to actually leave Umbral. So let's pop into Umbral really quickly. We're going to soul flay this stigma here.
Witness this offering I make to you.
Ouch. I've heard people say a deer and a deer. I'd like to know how you guys pronounce it. Even in the intro, like they say a deer. So I've been saying a deer, but a deer just seems more natural to me. Who knows? Alright, so now we're going to go this way. We're going to tag this. We're going to jump back into Axiom. Okay. Now, if you notice, remember, there was a little bit of a bridge here, right? A full-blown bridge, right? And that's great and all, but we need that item. So what we're going to do is we're going to come this way. And this was really fun. This was one of the first big secrets. I was like, oh yeah, I like this. So we're going to drop down. No fall damage, you're fine. And you get the Faithful Bludgeon, which is a pretty neat item. We'll take a look at it right now. It's just a fun weapon, actually. But it does require quite a bit of strength. 28 strength, but it does a lot of damage. I mean, it does like physical damage, and it also causes, I think, either burn or ignite. I always get those two mixed up, but I think it's burn specifically. So it's good stuff, for sure. It's just very heavy. It's in the class of grand hammers, so be careful with it. I like the longsword because it does a pretty decent amount of damage, but it doesn't compare to those incredible numbers you're putting out with the Faithful Bludgeon. So anyways, pull out your lamp, and then you can safely cross this way. Now be careful, because remember, if there are creatures in Umbral, you're going to be in a bad spot, because you're not going to be able to come back if they hit you, right? But we're going to willingly jump into it because we want to do soul flay here. And then we're going to attack these enemies. There you go. And some of these enemies in this area are going to be so overpowered. You can tell because if like the little thralls or the ghouls, are taking a bunch of hits, that's a good sign that you're not in a good spot. So there is, some stuff up here, but we're not going to worry too much about it. Well, we will. We are going to worry a lot about it, actually. Before I aggro what I call the Reapers, we're going to run around here and grab the stuff that we can. Let's take out this enemy really quickly. Do a big combo on her. Try and stun her as much as we can. Big R2 right here. But you see how much health she has? Taking everybody out with that one. Alright. And you, sir, should be dead now. So we will grab this. The Crimson Rector Sword. We're going to take a look at that in a minute when we're outside of Umbral. You're going to need to go back down the ladder, actually. And this is probably where we'll die, but it's okay. It's fine. This is fine. I'm going to make a big run for it right here. Grab this item and sprint. Sprint, 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 sprint. Reach this, emerge from Umbral, whew, and we're good. So we ended up getting the key. I don't know if you noticed that. And that enemy tried to attack us from Umbral. Wow. If you transition in like a weird spot, sometimes the attack will still, you'll still see the effects of the attack, but it won't hurt you, so don't worry. Anyways, wow. That didn't work out last time, so I'm so glad it worked out this time with you guys watching. So anyways, we're going to take a look at the Crimson Rector Sword. If I recall correctly, it's this one right here. We're going to get a lot of Rector items. I'm assuming that's a class of like warrior or something. But anyways, this is a strength-based weapon. It deals a pretty good amount of damage. And it's got some good scaling too. C scaling's pretty solid. The Paladin Isaac sword though, I just really love this weapon. I think mostly because it's got some quality to it. You know, the E scaling, not my favorite, but it's a powerful weapon. And as you continue to improve it, once we get the blacksmith, you're gonna see how good a weapon it is. Anyways, I don't want to pop into Umbral because those enemies will likely attack me, so we're gonna come up this way. We can always go back if we need to, just so you know. But I just want to kind of show you guys how it all connects. So we got the Crimson Rector Shield. That goes, of course, with the Crimson Sword we just picked up. And the Skyrest Bridge key allows us to open this door. And guess what? You're going to find out exactly where we're at. And I'm not going to necessarily go through here just yet, but look, we're right back at the Skyrest area where he's now moved to this table, and he will give us a mission to collect certain items. But what we're going to do is we're going to circle back around. I wanted to show you that just so that you can get an idea of the layout of this particular area. But we're actually going to come back down, and we are going to enter from the Skyrest Bridge door that was locked. So you can just kind of use this little ramp here. Make a quick right, and then here you have it. We're going to open this door with the Skyrest Bridge key. There's a little bit of a puzzle in this area. I will show you the puzzle. It's pretty neat. I actually really like it. So we're going to pop into Umbral. So the long story short of it, we're in Skyrest Bridge, so we're not going to have any penalty for being in Umbral for too long. So we've got a ladder up here. This ladder is going to lead to an entity from the Umbral. So we all know these guys are jerks, but they all are tied to like little nodes, right? And there's one right there. We're going to need to activate the nodes so we can free up this door. So a few things, you know, obviously you just kind of get a good position on it. And I'm going to try and show you. Sorry, the camera's going crazy. There's one up there, and we're going to keep kind of moving around to find them all, okay? So I like to get this one first. This is always a fun one. You can stand on this platform, pull this over here, and then what you can do is drop down safely, turn around, and then you'll see node number 1. And I wish the Soulflay animation was a little more succinct because, man, we are usually stepping around like crazy on these very narrow platforms, so it's very scary because you can fall off in this animation. So pull that or Soulflay that creature, that little grapple point, if you will, and now we're going to start working our way upstairs. So one of the nodes has been removed. We still have another. If you come this way, you'll be able to grab a nice little goodie right over here. There's a bunch of secrets in this area, and I'm going to show you how to get all of them. Princess's Sting. So the Princess's Sting is really cool. It's actually like a pendant. And if you're running a light or small equipment load, you definitely want to check this out because it increases the amount of damage you can do if you have a smaller equipment load. So if you're running light, that's certainly what you want to do. Again, we don't have to rush. We're not in a dangerous area. We're in a hub. So we're going to grab all these items. A bunch of Vigor Skulls and various, little trinkets and baubles. And then, of course, we have a chest. Then we get the Descryer's Guide garb. So we'll take a look at that as well. And it looks pretty neat. I mean, you've got the wrappings and the mask. Pretty cool stuff. I think it looks pretty sweet. It's something that you could definitely run as like a cool, like maybe a Faith or Radiance build, and something like that would be pretty fun, I'd say. Anyway, so here you have like a couple. I didn't know what that was all about, but it was pretty interesting. So we're going to come up these stairs, and you're going to see a few points where you can actually just jump off, but we got to be careful. We're not going to do that just yet. So you see that there? We're going to be tagging that in just a moment. We're going to jump off here. We get a little bit of a better angle. There you go. So now we have this buddy right here. That's another node we have. And then, of course, this bastard, which I can't... I locked onto him last time from here. I don't know why he's so hard to reach now. He's not playing very nice today. There it is. Okay. So that's number 3. And this is going to give you a very special item. So far, we know about Umbral, we know about Radiance, but we don't know much about Inferno. But you grab this right here, and it's called a Searing Accusation. This is actually a catalyst. The catalysts are pretty unique because they do allow you to cast different types of weapons. So we're going to find the catalyst, of course. This damned menu. It's under ranged weapons. So here you have a collection of severed fingers which serve as an Inferno catalyst. So this would be a catalyst that you could use in the event that you were kind of using or focusing on an Inferno build. But we're going to drop back down, and we're actually going to use it to do something really special. We're going to help free an NPC. And to me, just kind of seeing the underbelly of this area, you kind of start learning maybe whoever runs this particular institution, maybe they're not such good guys after all. But anyways, so we have an opportunity here to do a few things. First and foremost, we have this tortured prisoner here. She's trying to speak with us. And sadly, we can't communicate with her because she's completely covered. Her face is, and mouth is kind of muzzled off, so she's got no way to communicate with us. But we do have the option to hand over the Searing Accusation, which we just picked up. You can tell she sounds really happy. She won't say any additional dialogue, but she does seem pleased with that. And that, my friends, is going to allow her to escape. We're going to go ahead and soul play this stigma here.
My own happiness before the good of the royal line and the welfare of Mondstadt, but they don't see in her all of the things that I do. This kingdom is my home, and I will do everything I can to protect it, as I always have. As you did, Mother. But I refuse to accept that requires forsaking the woman I love. Sophicia only makes me a better man, a better king. And Mondstadt will be all the stronger with her at my side.
Alright, so we got the 2 Umbral Scouring, and just keep in mind that now that we've given her the catalyst, she's going to be happy. If we save and reset the save state of this area, you're going to see that she's gone, and there's an item that she's left behind. So we're going to go check that out in just a moment, but first we got to finish exploring the rest of this area. This is the animated Vigor Skulls. Faint Vigor Skulls. And then if you were to drop down here, we'd be right next to that old gentleman. What's his name? We'll drop down in a moment, though. There's one more item. But the guy that I was questioning his humanity, he's very nice. He gave us the stick. He's going to be a vendor for us a little bit later, but we're going to do this first because I don't want to necessarily lose the opportunity to open up this door. And this now allows us to gain free access to the full hub of the Skyrest Bridge area. So this little safe zone here is now completely unlocked. What we're going to do is we're going to tag this real quick. We're not going to rest necessarily. I just wanted to make sure that I'll come back here and we opened the door, so that's all we needed. Actually, I apologize. We are going to rest. We need to reset this area. So let's reset the area here by resting at the shrine, or the vestige. And now that we've rested, everything should have reset. So the NPC that was in the cage, or in the little jail cell, should be freed. And now she's left us with an item. It's the tortured prisoner's head cage, and it was the cage that she was wearing. So we're going to take a look at it. And that's what she had on her face, guys. That's why she was unable to speak. A cruel head cage worn by a tortured prisoner. Like, why are they torturing prisoners here, you know? At this save point. It makes you question the, you know, how good are these people, really? We can hop back to Umbral because I'm lazy. Don't feel like holding the Umbral lamp out. So we're going to come this way, and we're going to grab the very last item, and that is Skyrest Bridge in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick guide, because it's going to allow you to pretty much open up the rest of the area, get the Skyrest Bridge key, and now you've solved all the puzzles here as well. So there's the NPC I was talking about. But now we've come full circle. If you go down this ladder here, you're going to find that you're in the exact same area that we were just at, the safe zone, where we saved at that vestige next to Pieta and Stelmund and all those other bastards. So here we go, we're all connected, right back to the very beginning. We'll go ahead and rest again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my character. And I'm going to show you guys the next boss. I always like to include a boss if I can for you guys. We'll level up to 20. Pretty much at this point, 1 to 2 hits is going to kill us with any boss, so I'm not too worried about it. If I'm being honest, it's fine. We're going to go talk to Exactor Dunmeyer, and that way we can activate his side quest.
While the beacon should remain your most pressing task, I would have you perform another for me concurrently. Seek out and return to me the items which stand as proof of the Hallowed Sentinel's heretical deviations and practices. For only in the study of such can we hope to turn them towards the true light of Aureus. This land is overflowing with sin, so I expect this undertaking to offer you little difficulty. Also, say nothing of this to Pieta or the Fidelis captain. They are already conflicted. Troubling them further only endangers them and our mission.
So here we can again access his inventory and purchase more things. I definitely want to at some point look into upgrading our radiance so we can, you know, use some powerful radiance spells. They look like they're going to be pretty solid, so I definitely would like to use them. But we need a radiance catalyst too, and here's one. This would be the starter catalyst, if you will. And I think we should purchase this. This is a good starting purchase for a, you know, so we can cast different types of spells. I think it's beneficial for us to go ahead and get that pretty early on. All right.
Strive in darkness, in light we walk.
And we can sell some extras. So some of these here, for example, I'll sell the doubles. You can dual wield, by the way, so it's always something you can do. And I think it'd be beneficial for like a light build to maybe do that. But aside from that, I'm probably not going to be dual wielding much. Alright, so now we're good to go. We're in a good spot. I would like to look at our throwables and see if we can equip something here. No, we just got short javelin, so that's fine. So I'd like to switch this around just a bit, though. That way, one of the items is going to be specifically for the, you know, like a physical damage, and the others can be like radiance. Alright, so here we go. Actually, so we can save ourselves the walk. I apologize. What we're going to do is we're going to head from this vestige here. So we're going to take this vestige, we're going to warp to where we're just at. This is the Sanctuary of Baptism area. Now this area is pretty neat because it's pretty small, but it does have a boss. And we're going to try and fight a boss, at least one. every episode. So here we go. Let's go up here first, and we're going to do some exploring. There's some pretty cool stuff I want you guys to see. So we'll come up this ladder. Do the same here. Obviously, there's going to be some pathways we can drop down and get some additional goodies. We're going to break through these boxes. Always break through the crates. If there's not an enemy hiding behind, there's something. So look, we got a bro right here. And funny enough, when you pull up your umbral lamp, you can walk right through. And you get the full set, a broken bucket and the condemned set. If you recall, the condemned was actually one of the starting classes you could pick. So that's how you get the full set of gear right there. Easy as that. So I think that's really cool. And guess what? The melee weapon is a freaking bucket. And I would love so much to have this as like a challenge run. I think it'd be great to try out. And I think I will one of these days. Anyway, so pretty cool. We got the bucket and we got his entire set. The condemned head cage and all the other parts, of course, which is really cool. So, yep. I think it's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our lamp again, walk through. Remember, if you get hit by these enemies, you would pop right into the umbral world, so just be careful. You saw them trying to attack me there. So we're going to cross this over here, and you have some options. I mean, you can come out here, and at this point we can go ahead and enter umbral. These are all just small little secrets. Nothing game-changing or anything, but still cool stuff. Got the umbral vertebrae. Take out these enemies. And below us, where we just were at, there's actually more stuff we can get, but we can't be an umbral for it, so. Let's get what we can here, though, because there's plenty of stuff we can get here. Empyrean grenade, it's another throwable. Pretty cool stuff. Here, you can just drop down. You don't have to worry about fall damage. But the Empyrean grenade's going to be nice. It's another throwable you can use at your leisure. Here we have an NPC we can chat with.
The cleric's welcome comes behind the edge of a sentinel's blade, more often than not in this place. Makes me curious how you're still breathing. I suppose dangling the promise of salvation from one hand and the threat of death from the other keeps a pilgrim obedient. On second look, you're not just another deluded lamb, are you? You know, not long ago, I saw a dark crusader carrying that same lamp. Now it's in your hands. Again, curious. I know they'd see you rejuvenate those obscene monuments preventing a deer's return. Don't. That's a threat. But also advice. A deer rewards the faithful. There's salvation here if you want it. But you won't find it in the light of the sun or that lamp.
So pretty interesting. She's pretty much saying, hey, you don't need to purify or cleanse the beacons. Just, you know, don't do that. And she's kind of threatening us, saying, because if you do, I'm coming after you. So now we can grab this item here. Silly enough, there's really not a way back, which I thought was really dumb. So you do have to actually drop back down. That's a great opportunity for us to rest and return to Axiom. There's no need for us to be in Umbral. We have a boss fight that's just a few paces away, so we're going to run up to it and do some damage. But before we do that, there's one more thing we want to check out and get. So we're going to retrace the steps that we just took. Again, trying to be as thorough as possible. This particular game in general is pretty tough to 100% because of the sprawling map and maze-like area, but it's not too bad. So what we want to do is drop down. Remember, you're good to go. You're not going to get hurt or anything. Ooh, I think I'm running heavy right now. Gross. Grossness. Is it because of this? Yeah, it's the weight of these. Darn. Okay, so we need to... The more you level up, the better your endurance gets anyways. Or your encumbrance, I should say. So let's just drop down there and kill this bro. Alright. And so on the other side of this wall here, we're going to have our boss fight. So as soon as you come in, you see the life bar. She's right down there. She won't do anything until you come in. A lot of the boss fights are like that. Like, you're in a big zone, but there's a bunch of other enemies and stuff. But we've got to grab the bloody aspergillum first. First thing you want to do is lock on. And she has a few things protecting her. So we got to be careful because she can obviously have a sense of invulnerability. So a few things you can do. You can pull her aside like that and then face this way. That's the parasite in there. Now we can heal up and fight. We can parry her pretty easily as well. And now she'll take damage. Proper damage. Wow, she's good. You're annoying today. She does kick quite a bit too. Once you get to half health, she will start buffing, which is pretty annoying. Lovely. She's pretty tricky with this moveset here. But you just gotta dodge. Usually when they're buffed, I suggest not trying to parry, but just dodge instead. That's alright. We'll do a heavy attack here. We missed the critical opportunity because the window's tiny. You have to be lined up perfectly as well, so not easy to do. And that's the SCOURGE Sister right there. So we judge that center. We got the flail and some other items as well. The best item that you get from her, if I'm being honest, is her helmet, which I absolutely love. So if you look at it, it's so cool. You get the SCOURGE Sister flail, which is a pretty neat little weapon. Agility-based weapon that does cause smite or bleeding, so that's really neat. And then you also get her helmet, which is the SCOURGE Sister helm. And it's so cool. It looks like something straight out of, like the Penitent one, like so, Blasphemous. So check this out. So cool. That's just such a cool looking helmet. It's so heavy though. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Let me see. I don't believe... Oh yeah, she did give us one other item. Let's see. We do have this, which is going to be incredibly helpful. That's going to be something towards our quest for Exactor Dunmire. So we're in good shape. I mean, we're getting some good stuff, right? So all in good fun. Anyway, so if you proceed this area, you're going to be going towards the Pilgrim's Perch, which we don't want to go to just yet. It's a very tough area. There's so many frustrations that can be, had there because of the... some of the enemies and the range enemies and how they kind of set that up from a mechanics perspective. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and walk right out of here. Okay, or not. There you go. We're going to walk right out of here. Try that again. Drop down. Take some fall damage. Rest, and then we can upgrade our character. And this is going to be an excellent stopping point for this particular stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We cleared out a very small area, but one that I think is very important for opening up Skyrest Bridge and all that stuff. So again, in general, this game is going to be something that's very difficult to give like a very clear guide on, because some of the areas are very maze-like and labyrinthian. But in general, I'm going to do everything I can to show you guys the best path possible as we're playing through it together. My goal is to hopefully beat the game by Friday, so I can feature a story explained video and all that. But in the meantime, you're still going to see the 100% guide for Lies of P, and then something of a playthrough / walkthrough for this game, because this first area I definitely have down, and I'm able to even find new things as we're playing together, so it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you do, please be sure to like and subscribe. Lets me know you want more content just like this. And as always, it's the Inhuman one signing out. I'll catch you guys next time.